So, hi, good evening, everyone, or good morning, good afternoon, whatever time you're listening to this at, and welcome to Appreciate 2020, the good, the great, the bad, and the ugly. So, I don't know what kind of year you've had, but it'll be interesting to hear how that goes. But I always come from a place of gratitude for most of the time in my life, as much as I can. So, I just thought I'd put this session together to share some of the ways we can look back on 2020, as much as it's been challenging and difficult. Just how can we look back at it and actually appreciate it with even though it's been challenging. So that's why I wanted to do this session today. So who for those of you who already know me, my name is Rosemary Wilson. No, I'm going to talk about what am I going to cover today. A gratitude cycle. What exactly is a gratitude cycle? Different people have different versions of this. Mine comes from speaking on the subject over the years and my own personal lifestyle and life experiences. So I'm going to be talking about the gratitude cycle, talking a little bit about the present moment. Some of you know about mindfulness, you're already in the mindfulness zone. Some of you aren't, but we'll talk a little bit about the present moment. I'll talk about the elements for choice, so your choices that you make in life, about perspectives as well. And I'll do some self reflection questions for you, which you can do. You can take away offline and do that. I don't know, maybe before the midnight strikes 2020 and 2021, before the bridge occurs. So some self-reflection questions, and then I'll open up for any Q&A if you've got anything to ask me personally. And then if we've got time, we'll do a discussion. So I won't keep the session running for more than an hour unless we are all engaged and wanting to be here. I'm happy to stay on a little bit longer, but if you've got to run off, that's also okay. So the session will be interactive. I've left out my own slide, which is fine. My name is Rosemary Wilson. I'm a consul for the Londoners of All Nations and also for the London Inspired Women's Group. I've been with Internations, I think, since 2015. I run a coaching and training company, and my focus is on working with women one to one who want to thrive in their career, thrive in what they do, or take the next step, perhaps to a leadership position or a senior leadership position. And I also work with organizations running workshops for those who want to really invest in their talent and keep the talent on board rather than them going somewhere else, and also while supporting a culture of diversity and inclusion. Diversity and inclusion is an important part of what I'm about and who I am. So I like to include everybody, from regardless of your background, your religion, color, creed, sex, gender, etc. All of those are important to me. So this session will be interactive, as in I will be asking you some questions, but we'll keep the kind of verbal interaction to a relative minimum. So for me, 2020 has really been, it's been an opportunity. It's been an opportunity, in my estimation, for myself to reset. So reset, so adjust. I was going so fast, and I see the world going so fast that we're tripping over ourselves. So for me, it has been an opportunity to reset, to just slow down a minute and stop, to readdress what's important to me, and to rethink on my focus. It has given me an incredible amount of breathing space. Now, I know the world is different, and I know that everybody has had experiences that have been awful, they've been amazing, they've had lots of different experiences, there's been death, there's all sorts. But for me, I've had friends and family who have had terrible situations happening. But for me, I'm very sad about that, but I still want to see um, what you can use from, what you can learn from that, the opportunities, which might sound a little bit difficult, but it's all about a perspective, and I'll talk about a little bit about that in a second. But for me, it's been just that that point of in life where it's been a massive opportunity to just breathe, exhale deeply. So for me, I am incredibly grateful for that. And not to say, as I know, as I said, I'm not. There's been an immense amount of sadness going on in the world, but that aside, there has also been some incredible opportunities. So when we talk about appreciation, and everybody looks at it from a different point of view. So for me, appreciation and gratitude is about, it's a combination of efforts. It's about how you view your life. I've seen some kind of horrific accidents happening, people who maybe have lost limbs or lost something else, and their outlook is so incredibly brave and courageous that they choose to view the lessons as helpful and positive. And I know that's quite a hard thing to do, but it is possible. So for me, your appreciation and gratitude is about your life outlook. It is about the foundations that you have, that you choose to have, and it's about your perspectives. So I come from, just a little bit, I come from a very difficult background. I come from a difficult childhood and a set of difficult circumstances. We didn't particularly have a lot of money either when I was growing up. So for me, anything that I was given or anything I received, I really appreciated, and that has been a thread throughout my life. So I, rather than looking at things that, oh, that's not good enough, or I don't want it because it's not the best, I viewed every small thing that I have with great appreciation and gratitude. And that has developed, obviously, as I've changed my lifestyle and my career, that has developed for me to be even more grateful and for the things that I have in my life. Even illnesses that I've had in my life, I've been grateful for them because I see them as lessons. So that helps me to change my perspectives when it comes to gratitude and appreciation. Again, appreciate, not everybody can have the same outlook, but if you want to have the same outlook, these are some of the elements that are important to you. Your outlook, which is the same as your perspectives, and your foundations. How do you view life? How do you want to view life? They're really important. So for me, if you only choose to see misery, that is what you'll see. You will only see misery. If you choose to see ugly, that is what you'll see. If you choose to see good, that is what you will see. If you choose to see great, that of course is what you will see. It is really a matter of perspectives. And for me, if you opt for choice, then you will give yourself choice. Giving yourself choice to view things from a different perspective is also a great foundation for living a life that is even more powerful. So it's up to you. If you want to be grumpy and down in the dumps, go for it. If you want to be happy, positive, smiley, helpful, then go for it. But it is a matter of choice, and every day that you view that is important. So let me talk about the gratitude cycle. What does the gratitude cycle look like? So for me, it's about, you have an experience, and from there you have a choice to have different perspectives. Again, as I said, if you want to see the ugly, you'll see the ugly. If you want to see the good, you'll see the good. I'm not talking about going around being happy, clappy, smiley all the time, although you can do that. You're very welcome to do that. But I am talking about viewing things from a point of view, from a point of perspectives. And when you see things from a different perspective, you then have a choice on how you view the outcome. Again, even if you fail at something, if you choose the outcome as a learning, then things will change for you, or your outlook will change. So if you view things as a lesson, regardless of whether they're helpful or negative versus positive, I don't really like those terms, but whether they're helpful or unhelpful, if you view them as a lesson, then you can start to build on those lessons. And sometimes you don't immediately see the lesson. Sometimes the lessons may come a long time after. So 2020, you might look back on 2020 and think, oh my goodness, what an awful year. But then if you look back in minute detail at some of the lessons you may have grabbed, you can view them, going forward, you can view them as learnings, positive learnings, helpful learnings. And for me, when you see the lesson, or you grasp the lesson, or know there was a lesson, then you can be grateful for the lesson. There's that element of gratitude. And then when you start to see the gratitude, for me, gratitude gives optimism and hope. Always, gratitude gives optimism and hope. When you are grateful, you are hopeful. When you are grateful, you are more likely to be optimistic. And this is the cycle. You start building on it, and you go round in this cycle of experience, the gratitude cycle. And I don't know how you live. I don't know how you choose to live. But for me, these basics of gratitude really play an important part in my life and how I view life. So gratitude is really a mindset. So you can be grateful for the good, the bad, the great, and the ugly. You can be grateful for anything if you choose to be. So I ask you the question, what are you grateful for? And that can be the good, the great, the bad, the ugly. What are you grateful for in your life? Pop it in the chat box. I'd want to hear some of what you're grateful for. And you can actually take this exercise away, because sometimes you need more time to think about it. But what are you grateful for? I'm grateful for my good health, of course, obviously now, but I'm grateful for my home. I'm grateful for food. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for the friends that I have. I'm grateful for you to coming here to listen to me. I'm grateful for the laptop I have to present to you. There's so much I can talk about that I'm grateful for. Misery and gratitude cannot exist in the same space. So always look for the element of gratitude and the element of helpfulness that brings to you. So I'm just going to have a quick look at what you're grateful for. Good health, good friends, health and a roof over my head, good health, economic stability, bad and good events. Everything has an opportunity to learn something. Yeah, I was born. I like that one. Health, family, career. Fantastic. So these are, a lot of people say health because you really realize how much health is important, right? Yeah, money, material things, they're all great and wonderful, but if you don't have your health, then there is no, there's no plus point there. You know, it can be difficult. So thank you very much for sharing health, family, and life. Yeah, lot of health coming up. Yeah, in the middle of the pandemic. Thank you very much for sharing. So look for it. So the ability to be in the present moment is a major component of mental wellness. That's Abraham Maslow. So for those who are, I'm having a lot of discussions around people who are worried about the future. Oh, 2021, the pandemic. Oh my goodness, when's it going to be over? When's it going to end? And we just working ourselves up into this frenzy of fear and bewilderment and lost. So the present moment right now, there is no fear. If you are here right now, staying in the here and now, there is no fear. The future is unknown. So what will be in the future is unknown. And often your worries and your anxieties and your fear, they're just woes, they're just sadness, they're just elements of nothing great when you catapult yourself into the future. And the future is filled with questions that cannot be answered. You can't yet answer. So staying in the present moment and exercises that find you bringing yourself back to the present moment are so incredibly powerful, especially if you are fearful of the future and what it might bring. So if you're in this present moment, you literally deal with each moment as it arises. You deal with what is in your control right now, right here and now. And it can take some challenges to bring yourself back to the present moment. It can be quite a hard thing to do, especially if you're someone whose mind is always racing to the future. But there are lots of different exercises that you can do, different apps, etc. But it needs your focus. You need to want to do it. You need to want to stay on it rather than continuously propelling yourself into the future. So to stay in the here and now. So if you are someone who is worrisome, worried about the future, worried about the pandemic, worried about what you didn't get in 2020, and what 2021 will bring, just find a way to bring yourself back to the here and now. Practice some mindfulness. I encourage you to go out and check out, there's lots of different ways that you can learn mindfulness. Gratitude thrives in the present moment. It is now that you can say, I'm thankful, I'm grateful for. And in each moment, each present moment, you have choice. When you start bringing yourself to the future and worrying, you're not really giving yourself that much choice. So right now you can choose to stay in control of what is in your control, or run off with the future that you have no control over. So right now in each moment, there is choice, and no more, no less, you have choice. So it's up to you to consider that. So just bring some of that into you to recognize that you have choice right now to struggle or worry or not. And I think what's really good, we talk about journaling, lots of people journal, but I really do recommend that you note what troubles you, what worries you, if you do, have that challenge going on, or write down what you're grateful for. Do that exercise, write a gratitude journal. So write down what makes you feel bad. What is it that makes you feel slightly better when you do feel bad? What makes you feel good? What makes you feel great? Keep a note of these things so you can go back to them to start building up your appreciation journal or your gratitude journal. Start thinking about what's in your control. So really jot them down so that can help you to be more in control of what you worry about and what you don't worry about. So these things are also tools to help you feel better about yourself as well, to appreciate the good, the bad, and the ugly. And when you continue with that, you start to gain momentum. So these are exercises that you must set aside time for, because if you don't, you just get caught up in the day, you get caught up in what's going on, caught up in the work, etc. But start making time for gaining momentum, to building those foundations of gratitude, and start your day with gratitude. So rather than starting your day with, oh gosh, the alarm clock's gone off, I'm not in the mood today, just wake up. Even if you've had a bad night, you've had a challenging your sleep has been challenging, just still wake up, you're alive, you're breathing. Start your day with gratitude. A simple thank you when you arise from your bed, or when you're still in bed. Say thank you. Just say thank you. I am grateful for X. Start your day. You can have a whole list of things, grateful for 5 things, 10 things, 1 thing, but just start your day feeling grateful. And that will lessen any kind of misery or challenge you've had during the night, or challenge that you've got in your life and your situation. Say, I'm grateful for the challenge. I'm grateful. I am grateful. And then things start to change and turn around, because it's your perspective that is changing as well. And the way you view things will start to change and turn around. So here's your perspective. So look for the light in all the darkness. So no matter what's going on for you, find that little chink of light that you can be appreciative of. So either live with the darkness, or let the light shine through the darkness. So what I'm saying is, challenging things happen. So find your way to live with the challenges, find your way to live with what's going on, but find some light. And if you can't find it on your own, then share with someone how you're feeling. Share and talk to someone. A lot of you are doing a lot of things on intonations, but really share how you're feeling. Don't feel that you need to say, I'm fine, I'm okay. If you are going through something that you're struggling with, share how you're feeling, find someone to talk to so you can offload it as well. And that will help you to be, to gain more, a different perspective on how you're feeling as well, and help you to feel a little bit lighter. So if you're feeling low, I'm not saying, again, run away from it and join the happy clappy group, because sometimes that's just not possible. But you can look for the light. You can look for someone who can help you. So ask yourself, who will listen? Who will be brighter? Who will be brighter for me? Who will shine for me to help me through this time? Who will be patient enough to listen? So look for those people that will really help you through your challenge. And there are so many people, again, intonations is great, but outside of that, look at your group, your circle of friends, your family. Don't necessarily gravitate to the ones who will bring you down, but gravitate to the ones who are patient enough to listen to you, so that you can start to learn more and be more comfortable with yourself and what's going on for you. And what's important as well is looking back. So, everyone's doing this exercise at the moment, looking back at 2020. Well, not everyone, lots of people are doing this exercise at the moment, looking back at 2020. But look back at some of the other challenges you've had in your life. I always say to myself, when I'm worried about something, when was it not okay? When has it never worked out for you? And I look back, and every single challenge I've gone through, I've come through it. It might have been a struggle at the time, but I have come through it, and I've come through it with bags of lessons learned. So look back on all the challenges you've ever had, you're still here, you're still breathing, you're still living. So retrospectively, what helpful learnings are there from some of the challenges you've had? And I invite you to look back at 2020 as well. What challenges have you had in 2020? You're still here. What helpful lessons are there for this year for you? So I really do encourage you to do that exercise. And I've got the self-reflection exercises coming up for you to have a look at as well. So, I think using hindsight as a way of foresight is really powerful for me. I always look back on what I've learned to help me to make decisions for my future. So that's something really, really powerful. So, whatever we're going through right now, no storm lasts forever. You've got to look back at what's going on for you. These stormy seas that you've had challenges through, you've had difficulty with, you've come through them. You're here, you're speaking, you're breathing, you're living. No storm lasts forever, whatever challenges that you have. So that's really, really important for you to think with optimism and choice, so that you can open up your perspectives as well, which is something that I've said before. A lot of choice. When you don't give yourself choice, then you give yourself hardship. So really think about that. No storm lasts forever. So this is three self-reflection questions for you, and you can do this in your own time, or I can come back to them in the end and you can answer them one at a time. We can do that in the Q&A or the discussion. So what, if anything, have you learned about yourself during this time? What have you learned about yourself during this time of the pandemic, of illness, of challenges? What have you learned about yourself? Surely you've learned something for yourself. And what, if anything, would you have done differently this year? Is there anything you would have done differently? And what is currently your biggest challenge? And I will come back to these because they're quite, I think they're questions that you probably need some time to think. So for me, I've learned that I'm an introvert. I actually always thought I was an extrovert, but I'm an introvert. What would I have done differently? I wouldn't have done anything differently, in fact. What is currently my biggest challenge? My biggest challenge of going forward is to keep and maintain my energy and my health. That's always a big challenge for me anyway, but that's the most important thing to me, maintaining my health. That's currently my biggest challenge. So that's just a few things about me. I've got a list of some other things, but I won't share that right now. But I'll give you some time to have a think about what you want to do, and we can come back to these questions, as I said. So for me, 2020 has actually been an incredibly amazing year for me, and I know that not everybody can say that, but for me it has been an amazing year, given all the challenges that we've had and that I've had as well. And I love this quote from Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, and she says, "If you shield the mountains from the windstorms, you will never see the beauty of the carvings." And I think that is an incredibly powerful quote by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross about storms and windstorms and what basically the turmoil that can sometimes go through your life. You will never see the beauty of the carvings. So really, really powerful quote there. So I'm coming up to the end. I'm talking quite fast today, and my voice is also quite, my throat is quite sore. Now I haven't got COVID either, but I've been doing a lot of talking, a lot of presenting. So bringing it all together, opportunities to be grateful are everywhere, and it's up to you to view them with your perspective. It's up to you to choose what you want to see. And I always say, fill up your gratitude tank. Fill up your gratitude tank so it's bursting, so that you can't continue to see the misery of life. You continue to see the helpful ways of life, the helpful lessons in life. And if anything, 2020 has been one to really put it out of the bag when it comes to your gratitude tank. But be sad if you need to be, but don't let it overrun your life. Don't let it take you over. Don't let it pull you right down, because you can choose. It's up to you. And share if you need to. share if you need to with someone else, share with someone who's objective, who you trust, so that you can continue to be appreciative and grateful for what you have in your life, the good, the great, the bad, and the ugly, and learn from your 2020 for your 2021. So learn from your 2020, those questions that I asked you. How can you bring them into 2021 to change some of how you've been living or not? You know, if you're having a great time, then that's fantastic. But don't forget to pick up from what you've learned this year, to reflect or ask yourself some other questions and really learn from you know what you've been through this year and what you can do differently or better. So that's me. I'm gonna wrap up a little bit. So my LinkedIn QR code's fallen off this slide, but if you want to get in contact with me or connect with me on LinkedIn, if you're on LinkedIn, where I share some of what I'm doing and some of my sessions and some learnings outside of Internations, then please connect with me there. And or if you've got a private message that you want to send me, please feel free to use my email address. I'll leave that up for a second. And now I'm going to open up for some questions for you, and we can also have a discussion. And I'm also happy to go back to any slide if you want me to, because I've rattled through that reasonably quickly. I'm going to stop the recording now so you can ask your questions, and then we'll come back to, you know, discussing about you as well.